Yes. Well, hello, every one of you 506 dynamic beauties. Shib, welcome to the stage as well. I couldn't imagine a better person to be up on stage.
Yo, how's it going?
Very excited. Very excited. Much wow. Everyone is excited. Let's just do a couple, little accounting details here before things go out, right? So the first thing is miners, validators, subnet owners. You do need to be updated to the latest version of BitTensor for a couple function calls that are probably running in your miners. For instance, getting metagraph. Setting weights is fine, but the metagraph calls are important, and that might drop your code. So on the upgrade, if things go down, it's very simple. You just upgrade to the latest BitTensor version. We've been telling you to do this for months, and then nothing should be wrong. So that's the first thing. Second, guys, note that these pools, we're creating them with very low initial liquidity. So don't ape. This is really important. Like, ease in to purchasing the subnet tokens if you do. We still have a risk-free option on root. Gives you a lot of time for this game to develop and play out over many months before you can determine how you want to interact with BitTensor Dynamic. The reason why you don't want to ape is because there's mass amount of slippage for a large amount of tau, and you're basically just giving away your tau. So don't do that. There is an actual check on the staking operations in the CLI, so it will stop you from performing like a massive high slippage operation. It actually asks for your threshold for the operation, so that's in place. There's also a -- unsafe argument that you can pass to BTC stake, add, and remove if you really want to just go for it. That's possible. I recommend that people download the new BTC. So you can do that with pip install BitTensor. You can also install from source. All the information for how you can update your BitTensor is in the announcement. If there are any questions, put them in the chat. People can answer those questions for you about how to do things. Let's talk about consensus. The subnets are going to start off with root weight, root tau, dominating any subnet tokens. So don't worry, the consensus should not change. If things do change, it's a consequence potentially of validators going down. Expect a little bit of chaos and complexity in those first minutes, hours, even days. We went for the fairer launch, let's say, which is definitely in par with the way that we do things here at BitTensor. We went with a fair launch in the sense that the EMA for every subnet starts at the same value rather than us using the previous emission values. This was, I think, a very good decision because it puts us all on an equal footing. And ultimately, the subnets that do succeed will be the ones that behave well in this market from the get-go anyways. So we expect that there will be a lot of market activity in the initial couple hours here to really set us off in a good direction. That being said, this game is long. All of these different subnet staking values, dynamic tokens for each of the subnets, has a 21 million cap. It takes years for a reasonable amount of supply to be emitted. And so because of this, the game is long. Let's remember that. If we have to do hot fixes in the next couple of days, that's possible. We're going to be monitoring the chain to see how it behaves in the next 24, 48 hours and over the next week diligently. We hope there's nothing that needs to be changed, but sometimes it does. And obviously the entire team at OTF and also other teams across the whole network are on call. What else, Ala? Anything that you want to state here to the crowd? Just a hell yeah. Ala, you muted? He's gone. I understood he had to drop off in a second anyways. I think it was a hell yeah. Hell yeah. So right now we're just in the process of actually updating the chain itself. So there's 8 minutes before the actual upgrade goes through. We're just making sure that we're checking all the boxes, going through all of the the CI checks for dynamic tau across all of the branches. But why don't we just continue to chat in this group? So there were a couple things that I think that people should know about. One of them is a GPT that I put together diligently over the last couple days that can answer questions for people about dynamic tau. Feel free to go to this link. It tells you how to install the BT-CLI CLI. It teaches you how RAW emissions work. You can ask questions, and basically all of the code base is inputted directly into this chat, as well as the paper, the documentation, et cetera, et cetera. Now, for people that want to build scripts that interact with the dynamic tau, I recommend it. If you want to do things like DCAing into subnets, I recommend you use the BT SDK. So that was just launched. It's the latest version of BitTensor. You have operations like stake and unstake, getting your stake amount for a cold key on a subnet. All of the operations are there in async as well. So you can do like batched transactions across a variety of subnets with an asyncio gather if you really want to move fast. But ultimately, we recommend that people play with dynamic at their own level of risk and their own level of speed. So we are just building some of the code right now. And then the vote will go through, we'll trigger the vote. So the triumvirate keys, Garrett, Cameron, and Shib, who are online right now, they just need to actually trigger the upgrade. So that will happen pretty darn soon. What else? I thought it might be valuable to actually go through some of the commands in the BTCLI so that people know how to interact, just for people that are listening. So obviously the most important one for the BTCLI is BTCLI subnets list. You can't do that right now. It's definitely gonna break. We'll go over it live in a second. This is how you can see the prices, the emission rates for subnets. You can see the tempos when they're running, the supply of the subnet tokens, etc. You can also use BTCLI stake add. This command is how you can stake your tau into the subnets. Important point, a lot of people are asking about their stake. Don't worry, everything that you are staking right now simply gets moved to root, which is a minor change, is effectively just appending a 0 into a table associated with your stake. So everything you have staked right now is risk-free, continues to be risk-free, staked in tau. It simply just moves to root. You're not having exchange for subnet tokens at any point. And you can choose not to interact with subnet tokens if you don't want to take that risk. Are there any questions in the chat here just before we upgrade the chain? If there is anything that people need to know before we go live, which is coming in pretty quickly. My team is saying just under 10 minutes.
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Good question. Initial subnet registration costs. This was a question that people got a lot for miners. Registration costs, burn costs are still in tau, denominated in tau. The difference is that the registration cost in tau is swapped into the pool and then burned. So when there is a burn registration on a subnet, it actually burns the supply of the subnet token. Actually, it recycles it. So it pushes that down the road. We actually reduce the issuance of alpha when this occurs. But practically, miners should not experience any change for how they interact with subnets. So when you register, it's the same operation. For the first month or so, honestly, the only thing that miners will experience is the fact that their emissions Their incentives are denominated in the subnet token. And the way in which they move those subnet tokens around will affect the price. So if they choose to unstake them or move them or transfer them, this will affect the volume of the pools and the operations. So yeah, let's reiterate the risks again for buying large amounts right away. So the Uniswap pools that we're using are V1, which means that there's no added liquidity. That's subject to change in the next month. But right now, it's a V1 pool, which means that the slippage is a function of the amount of liquidity inside of the pools. There's only one tau and one alpha in the pools to begin, which is similar to the initialization of BitTensor itself, which is quite interesting. We started with, Alec, and remember, we started with exactly one tau, so there was a pre-mine. FYI, a shocker for people, there was a one tau pre-mine.
How dare we?
Yeah, it was required to actually bootstrap the consensus. Same thing here. So there's one tau and one alpha that is bootstrapping the liquidity of the pools. Now, as a consequence of that, anything more than one tau staked into these subnets on the first block is actually extremely expensive in terms of slippage. So it will change the slippage. It will change the prices substantially. It will move the amount of alpha pulled out. The max that you can pull out is one, obviously, because there's only one alpha in the pool. So if you ape in 100,000 tau, I don't imagine anybody has that to ape in, but you will lose that. So I just really want people not to make that mistake. So let's all just watch these pools interact slowly over time and grow in liquidity, and also possibly even wait for V2 and V3 pools to be released in the next month. Just getting some.
Hey, Const, I'm going to ask something from my end because I've been thinking about that a few times. Can you re-explain the reasoning for the initial number of subnets coming out of dtao?
Yeah, so there will be 64 initial subnets coming out of dtao. The cost to register a subnet is, until we change it, 8 billion tau. No one has that. What we will do shortly after launch is we will bring that down to what we consider to be effectively a reasonable number. Now, the reason, what I mean by reasonable is that it is larger than anyone is really willing to pay. And then from that point, it will drop slowly over time, like a Dutch auction, until the first person is willing to pay. Similar to the way that the lock cost happens right now, where the actual price is determined by the half-life of that lock reduction period, right? So when a registration, in this case, a subnet registration occurs and the burn is costed to the individual that registered the subnet, the price doubles and then halves over 5.5 days. So because of that dynamic, that half-life of 5.5 days, it means that on average, we expect there'll be one new subnet in BitTensor every 5.5 days. So of course, that actually can go faster than this, but people would have to pay increasingly large amounts of tau in order to register the subnets. Does that answer your question, Alan?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Mog has 8 billion tau. I knew it. So we just got the third hex right now, which is good. So we have 3 hexes, which is required for the upgrade, and that means it's very, very imminent, guys. Someone says, when should we ape? I don't know the answer. Some of these questions are really difficult to answer. I don't know. Ultimately, the market, we're staring into a black hole in some sense, because markets are incredibly difficult to predict, and that's where their power comes from. So we could see all sorts of different things coming out of this design. We expect that in the long term, over time, that markets stabilize to the production of generally good commodities, but ultimately that decision is up to you guys. It's up to the crowd of people in this call, tau holders in general, that are going to be determining what has value. If that happens to be we want Doge Tau or whatever meme coin is probably going to be launched on BitTensor tomorrow, that will be where we go. Now, that's not where I intend to be putting my capital, but it's possible. that something like that could survive and exist inside of BitTensor's ecosystem. I hope that we stay on the mission of trying to build utility first, and we work as a community to make sure that the ecosystem moves in that direction. Now, I will also say this: I think it's really important. We are unlocking the fact that there is different aspects of ownership across the ecosystem. That means that some subnets, some people will be allocated into those subnets and others will not be allocated into those subnets. And this could create a fair amount of political and community toxicity as people are angry with each other for causing issues with their subnets. I just hope that after dtao, one of the things that we remember to do is be respectful and to argue with facts, to take care of our community members, because at the end of the day, we're all here underneath the Tao umbrella, and we aren't just within our own subnets. What is my dog's name? My dog's plural's name, Chico and Mama. What's your personal strategy for navigating dtao over the next week or so? That's a great question. I was actually going to go into that maybe once we had launched and show you guys my personal scripts, which I'm going to announce into the chat. I guess people are really interested in it. Yeah, very good question. So my personal strategy is to DCA into the subnets basically as much Tau as I can. One thing that, I have studied these charts at length, and it is my personal opinion. Some people have different opinions, and we can argue them at length over the next coming weeks. But it is my personal opinion that even though root selling creates automatic downward sell pressure on the subnets, this is actually a buying opportunity if you have a long-term view for BitTensor. What I showed in the previous novelty search during the presentation was that root selling, automatic selling, slows down over time as a consequence of the increase of the alpha issuance, right? Because the Tau weight actually reduces the weight of Tau, and as the alpha supply increases, that Tau auto selling decreases over time. This is something we've seen already, and we know that this means that the prices eventually converge to at least 1 or above. We expect them to be suppressed initially, but if people have long-term value, if people approach the problem as a long-term value investment, and they're looking to hold the tokens for a longer period of time, I think it makes sense to use the root selling as an opportunity to enter the subnets. It's really a transfer from people that are willing are taking a more passive and risk-free option to those that are willing to take more risk and enter into and be active with the subnet prices. So my personal strategy, which I'll be releasing the scripts that I'm going to be using to perform my DCA. My personal strategy is to try and allocate as much Tau within reason into the subnets over time. So continuously on a block-to-block basis, staking little bits of Tau into subnets that I have preference for. Now, as I say this, I want to make it clear this is not financial advice. It's just an opinion. I'm not telling people what to do. And I should also mention that some people believe there are better strategies which are where you hold on root. And root is actually a very strong strategy by the fact that you get dividends across all of the subnets on BitTensor. And the give and take between those two strategies actually depends on the current pricing of the subnets. So we expect in the next week and months that as new subnets enter the system, they replace others that people have invested in. And that means that it might be beneficial for you to stay on root instead of buying ultimately all of the subnets. So there is a selectivity required in order to play this game properly, that I think is very important. I'm just getting a thumbs up. Hold on, guys. We are just pushing some small changes. Here we go. My intention is to take as large an allocation of the amazing subnets that on BitTensor as I can. And I understand that I have a lot of tau at risk here to make that happen, but I think it's worth it. For me, I actually value the ownership in the subnets and to be part of these teams more than the dollar cost of my tau. That's just me, though. Other people will have all sorts of different perspectives. But it is important for people to understand that, yes, I will be likely allocating, and perhaps I should be even making public my wallets. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I make public my strategy plus the wallets that I'm using? Yes, 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 no, yes, yes, no, yes, yep, no, 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 no. Oh my god.
I feel like if you converted these yeses and nos to binary, you'll get a really nice program out of it.
Oh my god. Okay. Holy shit. I just got. Okay. Well, I retract the question. Don't DOS me. We are over 620 in this call. This is fantastic. This is the biggest one, guys. I remember being on these calls when it was just 30. So super exciting. Ala, you remember those?
Do you happen to remember the first mainnet launch back in November 21? How big that was?
That was it larger than this call?
Are you kidding me? No, we barely hit 20 back then. I think it was very, very small.
So I think the answer from the community was yes. I think what I'll do is sort of like I will give out some of my wallets, but not all of them. Some of them are already doxed by people within inside of the community, which is good. And I think that it's ethical for me to tell people the behavior that I'm following because I understand the system very well. I may be wrong, right? So ultimately, follow me at your own risk. I also really believe that this system is designed to take a long time to really discover itself, in the sense like it's meant to be a long game for people to play. I saw a tweet the other day which was like, is there any way of distributing tokens that doesn't create sniping opportunities or destroy a community from the get-go? Like, what about airdrops, et cetera, et cetera? I think that ultimately the best strategy is to play a long game where people have opportunity to interact with these designs over where the game is not up very quickly. And so we made it like that, right? There's 21 million tokens. And that's, as a consequence of that, low liquidity initially, right? So there will be people that are interacting with these pools are losing a lot in terms of slippage. It'll be chaotic. The prices will be all over the place. We expect that to happen. So if you see people being like, "Oh, detail's broken. Oh my God, there's so much chaos out there. The prices are all over the place. There's pumps and dumps." Like, expect it in the initial few months that there will be massive swings. We think that this is actually the best way for us to approach the proper values, is to have chaos at first and then stability later, rather than potentially stability early and chaos later. Okay, so we are broadcasting. We are broadcasting the upgrade right now, which means that we should see an upgrade now. We are on dynamic, everyone. Dynamic tau is launched. Let's go. Amazing, guys. Wow. Holy shit. Oh my God. Chain blocks are moving. We are seeing peers. So
Const, no one's ever asked you this yet. How are you feeling?
Not until everything is clear, I am not feeling anything. We're running a fairly large migration. We have a lot of stake operation. We've done this about 1,000 times, so this should not be an issue, but we letting it run. Last time it took about a minute. Steady, everyone. Steady. Migration is quite massive. We have to move everybody's stake to root, all of the miner keys, etc., etc. Migration went, migration done. Okay, that's great to hear. So it should beginning. You should be able to see stuff in a second. Okay. Are people able to see stuff? Getting feedback from the team here. The calls are in block. Migration is going. Blocks seem to be progression. So some aspects of dtao are through. I can see people can see. Okay. Okay, we have. I think we have liftoff. All right, guys, I'm just checking some things in the background here. Does someone want to give us a subnet list? All right. Okay, someone post an image of subnet, BTC subnet list. I really want to see this. Wow, look at these people. Absolutely aping in. Incredible. No, we have recommended that you don't do this. Guys, this is so intense. It looks like it's gone through. Everything is good. And we're already seeing So guys, if you want to see things update in real time, BT CLE subnets list with -- live. That one works. This works to see the prices in real time. I would love to bring up like Mog or Fish on the screen. Are you guys, is Tau Stats or Tau Market Cap ready already?
We probably need like 5 to 10 more minutes. It's pretty stressful on our end.
No doubt. Holy crap, guys. Oh my Lord. It's working. No issues so far. Oh my God. The chain migration went through perfectly fine. People are already interacting. I see no issue. Chain node guys say that missions look correct. Moving average looks correct. Average subnet looks correct. My Medulla team says chain nodes look good. Sorry, I'm not exactly being very good at performing here right now. I am managing a lot of different things at the same time, but hopefully you guys can hear the excitement in my voice. It's looking right. Everything is looking correct. We're probably seeing a lot of transactions on the chain. I would love to get that information. Everything looks good so far. We're getting, this is real DAI. DeFi AI. DeFi. I think we called it first. Some people started calling it that, but we were the first to go down this path. Everything looks great. Tau reserves are in place. They are right as rain. Okay. All right. What are we seeing out there? What's going on in terms of prices? When you have time, could you explain where the real earned rewards for miners will get paid out if they're looking to something at a time? So miners will be making alpha, and then they will be need to unstake them into tau. So what are you saying? We're seeing Celium, Targon, Mine, Next Place, Pre-Train, Apex, Dataverse, Omron, Sturdy, Dippy, Shoots at the top of the list here. Exciting, guys. We have all of the emission values set incredibly they should be increasing. The emission values are correct. Prices are looking right. Wow, guys. Yeah, it's working. Holy hell.
All right, I don't want to jinx it, but this might be the smoothest launch that OTF has created so far.
Yeah, don't jinx it, Ala.
Knock on wood, shush.
Mog, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much. That fish is quite stressful. The site is taking a little while to get live, but the delegation tool, so in dash.tao stats is now updated, so you can go in. I just bought my first bit of alpha through the UI. Quite scared still. I want the site to be updated. So. But yeah, it works. Who knew?
Hey, Constant, I'm getting a few things about this. Is there a command similar to root my delegates in the old version of BitTensor?
No.
Mm-hmm.
There is your stake, BTCly stake. Yeah. BTCly stake list. Sorry, guys. I'm actually like quite shocked. Which is a good sign, actually. Wow. Yeah, everything is working perfectly, except for Mog stuff, apparently.
No, delegation app is good. Just the speed of pushing to production for main tile stats is taking a moment. We didn't push until you pushed.
Slight bug in the BTCly stake list, which is not an issue, but it is there. This is like so like other launches, Ala, where we launch and there are people interacting, like blasting the chain first block.
Exactly. Nobody waited.
No one ever waits. It's like story for the crowd. When we launched Nakamoto, Al and I had planned to launch the chain and then do a demo of registering a miner. There was already 5 registered miners before I managed to register my miner.
We daydreamed about getting UID 0. We did not get UID 0.
No, we did not. Oh my lord. So we have wow. She's moving. Subnet reg costs have been refunded. It's -1 tau. You have your tau, everyone. Good time for. So we're seeing 40 to 100 stake operations per block, which is great. It's about double what we usually see. We expect, one of the comments was emission is moving fast, shown in BTCly S list live. This is true. And the reason for this is because of the fact that in the first blocks, the exponential moving average, although slow, is still relative, right? So the if the price moves slightly more than another subnet, that effect is automatically recorded in the chain relative to others. So it's the slowness actually sort of comes into the system in a couple blocks. Well, ultimately, it slows down after a month in some sense. But those first initial blocks, because the emissions are relative, you see a lot of emission jumping.
Okay, tau stats is up and over. Working. I'm just fixing some formatting issues. Yeah, it's working. It's a lot of decimal places we left there just to be sure about things. But on the bottom page, if you go to the bottom of the home page, there's a transactions box where you can monitor live every single alpha transaction, and they are going mental.
So I go to the bottom of, where do I go? I go to tau stats.
Tau stats on the home page, and just go to the bottom box on the home page, which is called transactions. Give it a second, because I'm guessing everyone else has just also gone there. It's a box called transactions. Post an image here so you can see. We've got a lot to sort out, so I'm going to drop back onto mute.
Mog has got his turn now. Look at those. Oh my lord. That's exciting. Oh man, guys.
Really brings me back to the first day we launched the chain.
Yeah, you can now also buy and sell not only in the dash.tau stats, but also on the subnet pages. But we're just dealing with a slight bug in the trading view data. So if you want to buy blind, you can. The prices are correct on the left-hand side, but we are.
Where do I go for that?
Any subnet page. So subnet / go in the subnets menu to any subnet you want.
Okay. I'll go to a subnets page. Oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah, we've got some tidying up to do, so I'm going to drop off for a bit and go silent.
No, don't go anywhere, Mogs.
I'm not going anywhere. As in, like, just close my microphone while I swear at some of the issues that we've not quite made perfect in the pursuit of perfection. So yeah, give me a sec.
I'm sure the pages are being DOSed somewhat. So yeah, everyone please give the developers here a break if their things are slow. If there's 404s, it's because we're getting probably the most amount of load we ever had. Wow. Oh wow, look at these beautiful pages. For those that can't load the page, this is what Mog's tau stats looks like. There's no data yet on the prices chart. Fish, is yours up?
No, we're working on it.
Price sum is now 9. This is incredible. Now, keep in mind, everyone, that these are very early moments. We expect a lot of excitement about the subnet tokens, but there is an 18% tau weight crushing down on these prices over the next month, 2 months, 3 months. Honestly, it's still 22% or 20% at the end of the year, right? So keep that in mind. Very important. We imagine people are just trying to, really play with the system, and who knows actually what people are trying to do. Tau market cap is down. Is that right, Fish?
Yes, while we're rebuilding.
Oh my lord. Celium price is 1.27. that's a price. I'm not going to make any comments. So the extension, the Chrome extension, is in review from Chrome, and ultimately it's out of our hands. They will determine when that gets updated, but when it does, everything will work. Don't worry. So if you're unable to unstake your funds right now, unable to move them around, just give it a little bit of time. It usually takes about 6 hours. It's taken more than 24 this time, and that's why there's a bit of delay. But don't worry, the extension is coming through. Your DAO is totally safe. All right. Wow. So, yeah, all good, team. I think everything is going
Okay,
pretty
now
well.
how do you feel?
I will go to sleep worrying. So yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I'm confident. This is looking promising.
Good.
So the chain is under load, but not overloaded. Backend team says we're all good. Does anybody want to pull up a BTCly S list? Why don't I do that? That should be my job. So bear with me, guys. Okay. Getting my screen up here for everyone. Why don't we watch it in real time? That'd be fun. Everyone can see my screen? I think we're good, right? Thumbs up. Can everyone see? Yeah, hoorah. Okay, well, let's just watch this in real time. Here we go. All good. Everyone can see this, right? Yeah, everyone can see the subnet missions. We're watching this in live. This is BTCly S list live. We have already allocated in the last couple blocks 12,500 tau. That's a lot. So we have stakeout. But I'm actually on an older version here, so this is not exactly correct. The emission column is not there. I need to update my own. But the prices are correct. The stake is correct. The supply is correct. Market cap. Here we are. So top subnet right now is Apex, Targon, Cilium, Shoots, Dataverse, Condense, Inference, Next Place, Sturdy, Coldent, then Unknown 60, Templar, Omron, Nashchain, Graphite, Gaia. Note as well that there is still emission. I should probably update I should follow suit with the instructions that I'm giving other people to do. Why don't I do that first? Actually, let's update my BitTensor. Activate. I'm deactivating Python. Actually, I'll share my screen. I'll demo live. Python 3m VM. Let's make a VM. Okay. Pip install. Is it upgrade? Tensor. 99999.000. That seems right. For those that want a tutorial, there we go. That looks right. Come on, give it to me. Ooh. There you go. That's the right one. Sorry, everyone, I was showing the wrong one. We have Bet, Cilium, Targon, Shoots, Inference, next place, Apex, Data First, Sturdy, Ready, Dippy, Mind, Gaia, and 57. Those are the top 10. And no, we haven't allocated 12,000 tau. I was a bit worried by that. It's actually 178 tau. Whew! Oh my God, that makes a lot more sense, guys. Sorry for that. I was on the wrong chain. Everyone can see this, right? Everyone's watching this play out in real time. We have a price sum of 8.46. Emission values look just about right. And honestly, not exactly that much different than what we saw in Maine, right? So the top emission value right now is 7. On mainnet before launch, the top emission value was it's 9. But top emission value was about 8. So there's not that much change so far. Honestly, we can see things playing out here. We have Bet in the top place here with a emission value of 5, a price of 6. People are aping into Bet right now. This is costly. We can also see prices drop precipitously. So all of this tau that is aped into the pools gets pulled out block by block via tau dividend. So you can see Bet is dropping by 0.46 every block here. Let's go back to the call. Everyone can obviously watch that on their own screens. This is super exciting. It's something that would be interesting to see right now from analysts behind the scenes are dividend yields for people, because all of the excess speculation actually just goes and turns into dividend for people on root. So maybe that should make you guys happy. People want me to continue to comment on BTK Live. Asking, there's some minor upgrades to do. Set to 10K. We're setting the lock cost to 10K, so if somebody wants to do that, it should drop slowly over time. Let's go get back the BTC commentary. People want that. Okay, sure, you have it. Here's the BTC commentary. Apex on top again. Someone is driving that to the top. Cilium, Shoots, Targon, Ready, Dataverse, Inference, next place, Mind, Sturdy, Dippy, Gen 42, then Gaia in the top 10 positions. This is only about 100, or what is it, 267 blocks in here, guys. So were hardly moving at all. Something that's we've hardly gone anywhere. Something that people should be paying attention to is alpha in, right? So these subnets, for instance, at the very top here, where people are quote unquote aping in 5.5, 13 available tau, 5.46 available alpha, not much to buy. Whereas subnets that have had little interaction with them over this period of time, a lot more available to purchase at a lower price. So maybe that's a great deal, honestly. I think what we're seeing right now is these teams attempting to pump their prices for various reasons. Potentially it's for the purpose of advertisement, or they want to game the emission vector so they can have more emission over time. We'll see how that works out for them. Ultimately, there is a cost to that type of behavior. So here we are. Bet, Shoot, Cilium, Targon, Apex at the top, Coldent, 29. So we have the supply. This is the total supply of the token. So we're at 279 available, 281 available dojo across all, right? I wonder if there's any miners on staking at this point. We haven't seen any of that interaction. The final column, we can see the tempos. Everything's at 360 as expected. Nothing has changed there. Why is there more alpha out? The reason why there's more alpha out for some of these pools is because it's been these subnets is because it's been pulled out of alpha in. So there's alpha being added to the reserves. It's being pulled out and put into alpha out. So we're seeing this play out here. The subnet with the highest emission right now is Cilium. The subnet with the second highest emission is Shoots. In third place, we have Bet. And then it looks like Mind. And we'll see how this plays over the next couple days. It's subject to change. Even though it's fairly high right now, it has much faster volatility in emission as it did in the first blocks, but that tails off over time. So it'll be harder to move the emission values later, but initially they're much more movable. Some updates. I mean, obviously we just did V1 for dynamic tau, but there are some changes that we're going to be putting into play fairly soon. So one of them is obviously pushing from V1 pools to V3 pools, the ability to add liquidity so that there's a more liquid market. Obviously, it doesn't make much sense in the first couple blocks of dtao, so it's something we'll be pushing in the next month or so. Another thing that is highly demanded or seems to be highly wanted by subnets. Oh, what the hell? People are exactly patch group. I don't know. I've never seen that before. Some owners want the ability to burn mining emissions, and I think that this is something that will be important for subnets to build functioning economic systems over the next year. So we'll be working on ways of doing that in a decentralized way. That's an important one. Let's go back here and see how things are playing out. This is quite the horse race. So in the last 10 minutes, we've had Bet on top, we've had Apex on top, now Shoots is back on top, Coldent is pushing up the ranks to net UID 29. We have Cilium in 51, still top emission value, but we're looking here at this changing very quickly. Also, not many people have even touched the bottom subnets right now, which is interesting, but I think that over time, the deal really becomes better for lower ranked subnets. And this is because there's more liquidity in the pool to be purchased. Right now, there's lots of available emission there so a lot of alpha available in these smaller subnets. Yeah. The supply of alpha node is also slightly different for different subnets. So with higher prices, because of the way that we compute alpha in, it actually is a higher amount of supply for subnets with lower price. So we can see for the subnets at the bottom here, like 55. And subnets with a higher price, because alpha in is tau in, the emission divided by the price, it actually reduces slightly the amount of alpha. Not much though, as you can see, it's not really that much of a difference. Shoots is pushed up, Coldent, Celium, Targon, Bet, Mind, Ready, Dataverse, Apex, Inference, Next Place, Sturdy, Sports Tensor, Dippy, then Gaia, then Templar, Gen 42, Frontier, PTN, Compute, Pretrain, Protein, 3Gen, Massa, Audio, Horde, Graphite, Infinite, Omega, Score, Condense. We're only 319 blocks in, guys. Hardly any time has progressed. It's very interesting. It's very much like a horse race. People are able to see their tau in the CLI, I'm sure. Oh yeah, right. Someone's mentioned the subnet names have changed. So great point. So we hard coded the initial set a week ago, and because of that, some of the names are wrong. You simply need, because we had to hard code them into the upgrade, by the way, so it came a week out. So in order to change the identity of the subnet to give it another name, you can use btcli set identity. So that's actually, am I correct on that? Actually, let me check what that is. Let's look at that. btcli wallet, no, subnet. Looks like it's not available as far as I know in the Abe. Abe is given to me. Subnet identities is not in the CLI right now, but you can set it through the Polka.js. It's an extrinsic. So just hold on a moment. What are we looking at? How is this horse race progressing? So we have Coldent, Shoots, Celium, Targon, Mind, Bet, Ready, Dataverse, Inference, Apex, Dippy, Next Place, Sturdy. Interesting. This is changing minute by minute, which is really exciting. No clear winner at the top here. And what I suspect people are trying to do is use their tau to push prices as a way of manipulating the EMA so they can get more emission. And that might be a strategy. I think it's a costly strategy, but we'll see how that plays out. At the end of the day, it costs to manipulate this graph, and that's the change that really makes dynamic dynamic. Before, this table was entirely determined by a set of validators that have no downside. There is downside in misaligned allocations and rankings of these subnets. Okay. Now, I have a question for the community. Have miners been paid out at all here? Has anybody? Yeah, so to Amber, you have to change the name of your subnet through the Polka.js front end. Let me see if I can pull that up. Actually, Alec, can you do me a favor? Can you get that? I always have trouble loading that web page. Actually, or someone else maybe has that available. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm looking around right now. Give me 1 second.
Thanks. Yeah. So the Polka.js available. There's an extrinsic there for setting the subnet identity, which gets set automatically, and then it will show up in the CLI for people. Here, people may be interested in seeing this graph. This is total subnet prices over time. People are pushing these prices up. Very interesting to see. also not entirely unexpected. We expected to see a lot of initial interaction. Yeah, sorry, that was from Eugene. Eugene was analyzing the chain and seeing how things play out. Does anybody want to come up on stage and chat about what they're doing, their strategy, how they're interacting with it, questions, just have an interesting conversation up here?
You're up.
A lot of echo there for you, Stefan.
What took you so long?
Sorry, I was a bit distracted.
Yo, you guys want to go Gems on?
I just bought 1 million Targon.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All
Okay.
of the aping is
Can you
macrocosmos.
see? Yo, hello.
Yo, Carol, I will buy 2 million Targon if you buy me a shisha in exchange.
Look,
Oh, absolutely. We'll do it. Eric Cowboy.
Yo, Sam, can I get all that OTC on $800 market cap for Templar? I will buy all of your subnet for $700. Great deal.
Yeah. We got
Oh, damn, we're live?
yeah, hey, we got Kin here from Bitmines.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. We
Sup,
have like
What's
we
up,
from
guys?
Chunky.
Parmesan's still moaning. Parmesan, when you actually contribute something, you can contribute.
Yeah, so Will, like, I prefer rubbing you off that mug, so come for my gamma anytime, bro.
Guys, all I will say is there are some fire deals outside of the top 10 subnets right now that I am scooping up.
No one's buying unknown.
What are you picking up?
I go, unknown is the
Let me build a position first, then I'll tell you guys.
Sammy, buy Templar or you're dead to me. Seriously, like all that
I got
banter
I
is
got
done.
you, man. I've always been a supporter.
Yo, Bitmines #1.
That's not good. I don't want to be number one.
Yo, 2.64. This is crazy.
No, but seriously, guys, how much cash are you guys burning on this shit? Like, what's the
I'm
fucking point?
accumulating fractions of alphas right now.
Like, literally, what's the fucking point?
Sam, $2,000 for all of Templar. My highest offer.
Yes. I'm done with this shit. That's more money than I've made from the fucking thing, man. You can have it.
Yeah, we should get a shisha for the office. You know.
I fully support this idea.
You gotta. Are you coming to Endgame, Allah?
I don't think I'm gonna make it this year, but I'm trying to see if we can get people together a few months after that.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, hopefully, we see you
How about
here
this? How
soon.
about this? Can I get you guys the office shisha? I'd love to provide that for you. Because
Yes.
y'all aren't gonna get a good one. I know you.
Where's our office?
Port shisha?
Say again.
Is it going to be the port shisha?
No, not the Porsche. Unfortunately, Sammy owes me that one. I don't have the Porsche shisha. I got that nice German made ones.
Yeah, I need these subnet token prices to go up before I can buy you that Porsche shisha.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
No, sorry. I got my quants here right now. As you can see, they're locked in. Yeah.
I actually suspect the prices will come down. Not financial advice, but they're very overheated.
Too high, yeah.
The
Hey,
prices-
cause hold the prices up. Don't fucking let it drop. Hold them up. Hold the prices up.
How do you get this view? How do you get that?
so you go BTC Live. Who's your laptop?
It's
BTC Live S list -- live. Yeah, but make sure that your BTC Live is updated.
just 9.0.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
now.
Damn, PTN now is 9 tau.
Damn.
Wait, really?
And now it's down to 7.2.
Wow. Crazy.
Can we get Parmesan on stage? Parmesan, why don't you come up?
Mog, do we have any updates from Tau Stats?
We're just dealing with an index issue, which is flying down through everything else. So we don't have validators up showing at the moment. Just battling through some issues, but almost there. Almost there.
Do we have updates from Tau Market Cap? Fish?
Yeah, we should pick like the meme coins.
So apparently query multi broke on the new substrate interface. So we just need to fix that to use a query map instead.
Have people begun to make mining emissions? I think the answer is yes. At least some people are seeing mining emissions. That will be a game changer.
Like a spam in the chat from the fact that OTF just launched the biggest fucking chain upgrade and it worked and it's all perfect. Like, seriously, let's fucking go.
Thanks, Fox.
Yeah, this is fucking impressive, guys. And shout out to everybody up here. Shout out to Mog as well. I'm using Tau Stats and swapping in and out of these. Well, not out, but swapping into these subnet tokens. And I'm just, extremely grateful that this interface is live.
Massive congrats.
Which one are you using? The subnet one or the Dash at the moment?
The subnet one right now.
Cool.
And the Dash actually at the same time. My balance is showing up there.
Cool. Yeah, there's a couple of bits and pieces that aren't quite up to date as they should be, and if you see a few billion Tau in your wallet, it might not be yours. We'll take it back at the end of the day.
Shout out to everybody trying to manipulate the EMA right now. We did a lot of work to try to make sure you don't succeed. Best of luck.
Yeah, we've got mining emissions. We've got mining emissions.
Wait, you were mining, Sam?
No, dude. No. God, no. I mean, like,
No, you have minor emissions on Subnet 3, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Dude, I don't have time to take a shit. Man. Like, I don't mind.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Look at those miners making gamma. Someone just made 24 gamma.
What? Okay, I need to go harass them not to sell. Be right back.
Someone just bought 1.65 SN8 token for 48. I told you. I did say, do not do that. I think the people that are doing that are doing that on purpose. So it's really up to them.
That is.
So you suggest they are losing money on purpose?
Yeah. Like Biden just likes, he enjoys it. Like it's whatever, but it's a flex.
It may be a flex. Yeah.
Everybody, we're gonna post. How much did you lose?
I am running my script. Would people like to see what I'm doing? Yes. I think it was yes, right? People want to see that. Okay, cool. Why don't I just share my script with people? So I made a script that was based on the idea that I would like to rank the subnets and according to the weights that OTF has been setting effectively, and buy or sell them based on their ordering according to that set of weights, but mostly to be allocating rather than unstaking from the subnets, because I think it's a good plan to have early tokens because the dividend is higher. So it's a script that runs automatically. It takes your wallet name, and it allocates a certain amount of tau per block, which probably should be lowered from the default. Ultimately, I believe the best strategy is to allocate all of your root dividends. So if you make 1 tau of dividends on root, you should probably reallocate them. We want that behavior. We want people to be selecting specifically which subnets they think are good with the dividends. That was why we went with the tau dividends on root paid in tau rather than airdrops, so that people are actually having more active, making active choices rather than passive choices to be allocated into subnets. All right, so using the SDK. So
Hans, what's your P&L on your trading script?
I think currently I'm losing a lot of money. So maybe people don't really care. How can I get this out to people? I think probably I should push this to Git. Yeah, I have to do that because it's actually a full-on repository. But if people want to learn how to make stuff, they can very easily using the, here, like I'll show you guys. Let's go to my screens. So in the announcements, I mentioned this ChatGPT thing, continue conversation. Where did it go? Okay, write me a DCA script using the BitTensor SDK, which allocates my tau per block. 1 second. Yeah, what would you like to know?
Why is my key not the owner on my subnet?
I don't know. Definitely should be.
Be right back.
Yeah, BRB. So here we go. So this would, here we go. So this is writing a script for DCA. People are welcome to use it. It actually has all of the SDK currently up to date. So if you want to build a script yourself, it's as simple as prompting it into the GPT that I created for you guys. Even uses BT logging correctly. Current block, here we go, and it runs it like that.
You don't want GPT to hallucinate on that one, I guess.
Yeah. Right. So let me post my own scripts in so people can see them. GM, oh, that's hilarious. Dojo, look at Dojo. Where are you seeing these outputs, Exponent Crisis? You guys are just waking up. Oh, one thing that people should know is that the owner, the hotkey is the owner key. So it's kind of annoying, but when we registered the subnet owners to give them a slot on the subnet, we had to use a key. We don't have their hotkey, so we just use their cold key. You have to do a hotkey swap to get a new hotkey. So that in the meantime, though, just FYI, your validator running underneath your owner key is using your cold key as your hotkey. So you can regen your cold key as a hotkey, but I would recommend doing a swap. Oh, look at this. This is fascinating. Look at these prices, guys. I really don't recommend that. But that's where we are. Expect this to level out over time. Holy moly. Exponent Crisis, can you come up on stage and show us these charts that you're getting? Where are you getting them from? Oh, some people are mentioning the Chrome extension is not yet ready. Unfortunately, like we said, the Chrome team has not yet approved the update, and they've been much slower than they usually are. So your tau is not gone if you had it on the Chrome extension. What you can do, if you already want to interact with this design, is what you can do is you can go and pull your wallet into the BT CLI, and then you can just interact with the BT CLI, BT CLI. So if you want to interact, you don't have to use the Chrome extension. It's just taking a little bit longer. I will ping that team right now. Okay. Okay. Everyone is just locked in. This is so exciting. Mehal says, where usually takes a few hours, it's waiting 27 hours for the review. Apologies for the Chrome wallet. We've pinged them. We had to do this all very close together because obviously we wanted the update to go through and not to confuse people beforehand, but it looks like we did things a little bit too slow. Yeah, okay, I'll explain the cold key hotkey issue for subnet owners again. Okay, so we wanted to register the subnet owner as a key, a UID, on the networks when we transitioned from dynamic tau so that we could pay them in their subnet token on a hotkey validator. Now, owners only registered their subnets with a cold key, not with a hotkey. So because of that, we registered their UID with a cold key, as in like we registered their cold key as their hotkey. Now, because of that, you probably want, for security reasons, you probably want to swap that out to a new key at a later date. But anyways, it's not decrypted on your machine. It's just in order to run a validator, you need to actually decrypt your cold key to run it, assuming it's encrypted. But I would recommend that you do a swap very soon. People are asking for the scripts. Okay, let me see if I can post them. It's a lot to do here. Someone else take the mic and lead the call while I post my scripts.
Challenge accepted. Holy shit, guys, this seems to be working. This is kind of nuts. Fish, is Tau market cap up? Yeah.
He's not even up yet, apparently.
Yeah, Fish isn't building right now. He's trading. He's buying.
He's exploiting.
That's what it is.
Yo, Sam, you need to drop some alpha. We gotta follow up with you. Drop some alpha.
It's too early right now to do that.
Damn.
What about you? Is there any subnet that you've got your eye on?
I am concerned about the alpha props and the root props. That's
Say
what
again?
worries. I'm worried about the amount of tau that's on roots.
Oh right. I mean, I'm mainly looking at FDV right now, and there were some subnets that had extremely low FDVs for a moment in time, and so I was scooping those up, but I don't think I think they've all been extracted at this point. Everything is
Damn.
really expensive.
Spoken like a true crypto investor.
I will say I'm happy because I thought it would take a lot longer to see prices come down, especially since like everything was initialized at 8.7 billion FDV. So yeah, that's comforting to see, just because that means people can actually get in a lot sooner than I thought. Not with much size though.
Oh my god, let's see in the chat. 4.29 alpha for 34 tau for subnet 8. That's crazy. Yo, TensorPlex, when is back I'm not pronouncing this correctly. When are you dropping? Backdrop, yes. My apologies.
Great. Okay, so I've posted my scripts in the chat here if people want to update them. This is a DCA script. It looks for the subnet to stake into that has the best score. I'm looking at something called yield, which is the difference between the subnet emission and the price. So if prices are pushed very high, it doesn't select this to DCA into. It's an important aspect of the script. You can fill in the ranks.yaml file with your ranking of subnets. So if you like 32, then 29, then 55, et cetera, these will be the subnets that you stake into according to that ranking. And then in the config, you can basically increase or decrease the kurtosis of that ranking. So if you make the ranking beta higher, this makes that scoring steeper. When you run this, you'll see the scores and how your wallet interacts with the net. This is what I've been doing. Yeah. So one of the nice things about people aping into these subnets with massive amounts of tau that are very costly is that if you're not participating here and you're just on root, this is all coming out as dividends for you, right? So people are making a lot in tau dividends, which is good, right? So you're taking this excess speculative behavior right off the top, skimming it off the top and basically taking it out as dividends. How mesmerizing is the subnet list? Like, oh my God. So mesmerizing. Look at PTN and Bet aping unbelievable amounts to push up their emission here. Likely PTN aping crazy amounts. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't recommend that. Formalize, did you fix your subnet owner thing? It's all fixed?
Yeah, it was a skill. It was a user. I was reading it wrong. Like I died twice. I shot myself twice.
Okay. Oh my Lord, this is so exciting. I love this image. Holy moly. Everyone's just like not talking and building their scripts or fixing their backends. Fish, Mog, when are we gonna have those up?
We've just posted out another update where there was an issue which was causing some database lag. We just found a corrupted block which is causing an indexer issue. So things are happening. We're getting there.
Cool.
On our side, it was because the emission value, storage value changed format, which broke our indexer. And it's now subnet tau and emission. So we're working on switching that over.
Like, sorry, am I missing something? Yeah. Why are people aping 100 tau now? Like, what's the okay? Let's assume I want to manipulate EMA. What's the incremental gain on incinerating this $8,000 right now?
So one obvious thing here formalized is that they're attempting to manipulate the EMA, right? So if they can keep their price high for a long period of time, that manipulates the EMA and that helps them get more tau emission, right? So that's what they're hoping for, is they're hoping to play this out over a longer period of time to affect the EMA. Now we've thought about that a lot, right? So we put some protections in there. There's like cutoffs on the EMA and stuff like that. So I don't think it's a good idea. That's one reason. Another thing that they're trying to do is obviously just get attention, right?
I don't care.
Yeah,
I want to go work for Bad English. If he has this much money to burn, he can have me like, what the fuck? Like, it's like literally 100 tau like every 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. Yep. I guess he has the tau available.
Ooh. So at what point do we think things will start to stabilize? Because I'm tempted to not even look at tau stats or tau market cap for a week, just for the sake of standards. So when do you think we'll start to see a bit more like order, decorum in the system?
I think it will take a couple of weeks.
Weeks.
I mean, there is. I would say that there is still some order already, even initially, right out the gate. I think there's some order. That's good.
How long can DJs go without sleeping, Sam? That's the question.
That's the question.
Yeah, it's well, I don't know. Like, so like this is just crazy because as I told you guys on the call earlier, my first week in OTF, I was meant to deliver this in a week. That's what Cons wanted, and to see this finally come to life, it's unbelievably emotional. Like, it's been much work. Yes,
did I really deliver in a week?
No, I can not in a week, in a month. I can get you my sheet. So Cons gave me this 5 things to do in 1 month. Then I was going to have a follow-up discussion to decide if I was going to stay or not. And I was convinced he was trying to set me up. Like, I was convinced I had to get a lot. I was convinced he was trying to set me up. But yeah, it's emotional, and like I'm so proud of the team for pushing this through, man. Well done.
Formalize, are you gonna cry?
Oh, I already cried.
Yeah.
Cried when I hit 0.8 emissions. I can't cry for anything. I don't give a shit.
It's okay, I'll join you.
Fully diluted valuation on BetTensor is $42 billion. Nice. Nice, guys. Mog, Fish, tell us the front ends are up. I really want to see them.
Starting to fix the issue with the charts. I'm seeing some charts. I'm just checking them now, but no, it's just don't make me cry. Yes, charts. You got charts. We're defaulting to 1 day, which is probably a terrible idea. We have charts on subnets.
Stop stressing us out, Cons. We're stressed enough.
I was gonna say, you want to get on a channel, Fish? Yeah, charts are up. I've got an issue with. As everyone else, I'm seeing people posting images on the subnet pages of the buy and sell boxes, but I can't get them. I've got a problem. Mine says problem connecting to the chain. Some people say they couldn't sell. That's not a feature. Yeah, charts are up on Telltales.
Can you show us one?
Yeah, which one do you want? I was just going on to BetTensor, and let's have a look at the 1 minute on it. Ooh,
Share your screen.
Here you go. Let's take that one in there. There you go. That's BetTensor on the 1 minute. That just come through.
My lord.
Whoever just posted the Omega one, our defaults are on 1 day. Stick them on the 1 minute, and you'll get a better look. So you can see exactly what's happening with that money. Everyone who's richer than Elon, that's not a priority. Coming.
Oh my. Let's see SN4 chart. Let's see. Are these loading up there? Wow, they're loading pretty fast there, Mog.
Yeah, we've got an issue where at the moment in the table underneath, you're seeing all the transactions from all the subnets, and it's killing our database. We pushed the fix for it, but it's not got all the way through yet.
So I should do. Is there like a way to change the interval so that it's easier to see? Because it's like currently
yeah, 1 minute. Top left, very top left hand corner where it says 1D. Change it to 1M.
1M.
Do you want 4? I'll give you 4. Hold on, just subnet 4.
I don't see that. I see 1D, and then if I try to change it to 1M, it doesn't work.
Just put in 1. It will say 1 minute. Yep.
Okay. Oh wow, look at that. Ooh la la.
Or you can type in 5 and it'll show you 5 minutes.
We spent so much time out of crypto that I don't even know how to use a trading view chart.
No, I don't know how to do this stuff, but look, yeah, it looks great. So there's like the push up and the pull down, right? And the pull down comes from the root div selling, which is the highest it will ever be right now. Which tails off over time as the alpha issuance increases, right? So probably people will get exhausted and we'll see things drop down to more reasonable levels. That's my prediction. Look, I don't know, but my guess is people will get exhausted. And we'll see these prices dropping down a little bit more over time.
The market's gonna stay irrational longer than you can stay liquid, man. Bad English has fire. he's one bad team, man.
Perhaps.
Guys, graph up now. The traveling salesman takes all the towel.
Oh my. Graphite is there.
Const, how long do you think it takes?
What are your like technical inclinations in this moment where you're like thinking about where to make opportunity as you observe this?
Me?
Jake.
Well, so I had originally built my script to keep the prices up to like a reasonable level, which is what I suspect will happen in a little while because people will go to bed, people will get exhausted. I think that there will be like this initial exuberance and then prices will drop down. That's my suspicion because there's a lot of sell pressure. If I were trying to make an edge, I would wait for that moment. Not instead of aping right now. That not financial advice. I don't know. Who knows? Markets are black holes, but yeah, that's what I would say. Just have patience, right? Patience is key here. It's a long game. There's a lot of root. Go on.
Sorry. Right now the root proportions are like 99% of all the stake weights. So yeah, I agree with you over there.
Exactly.
What do you think root proportion needs to get down to until we see like 4-digit tau in the liquidity pools?
4 digits.
Or I mean, just like how long is it going to take until tau is actually able to build up into the liquidity pools?
Right. Well, I think that before that point, we're going to release V3 on the Uniswap pool so people can add liquidity. So that will change things substantially when it comes to liquidity. In just pure simulation, it takes more than a month. It takes about a month, semi.
Got it. Okay, so V3 is coming out in less than a month, you're saying?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we ain't stopping. We just getting started. This is where the fun begins.
Hell yeah.
We have, we've disconnected root from subnets. And now subnets can have a life of their own, right? So they're now a political party in of themselves because they're not selected by validators. That was in the original paper. Really important point not to be overlooked. is that we've actually disconnected the individuals, right? So subnet owners no longer need to worry about what the validators think, right? So they can vote in of themselves. And so one of the first things we want to do is make that political force real in Bitensor so that subnet owners have more power over the actual design of Bitensor. And also so that they can have more control over their own subnets, right? Which is a super important thing. So that's one of the major pushes over the next couple months. Also just kind of finalizing, working on fixing up dynamic tau so that it's perfect and is highly liquid, and most of the transaction volume is happening on the chain rather than going offshore, so to speak. That's where we're going. But yeah.
And with V3, you'll be able to do all of the cool things you can do in normal DeFi. With Uniswap V3, emulate options payoffs on your alpha tokens, the like. It's going to be a beautiful world.
Yes.
I'm very excited.
Very, very excited.
Very, very excited. Wow, look at the chart on subnet 8. That's crazy.
Okay, guys, who's pumping gamma, man? Fuck bad English tea. Let's make it a protest pump. Come on, guys, we all have money. Let's do it. Let's do it. Subnet 3, go in. No.
That's a very interesting chart that you've pushed out, Stefan, and not that much different than what it was on mainnet an hour or so ago in terms of emissions. Not that much different. Maybe slightly
right, guys.
Root was right. Well, let's go back.
Back to Root.
Back to Root. Should we revert the change?
Abort dtao. We learned nothing from this. Centralization was the answer after everything.
Keep on posting these charts, Stefan. These are fantastic.
You got
I
it.
love to look at these time series
Where's
charts.
Where's he posting? Where's he posting them?
In the chat.
Oh, I'm in open dev.
Very interesting to see how these plays out. This is exactly what we saw in simulation, which is really cool.
Yo, sorry. One thing. If Kaito is underpriced, it's because they still haven't upgraded to Bitensor 9. So the subnet actually is working now. So the market is working.
Beautiful. Alchemy 26 on top. Oh my gosh. Exciting. Any issues that people are having? Does people see anything that like? I know there's an issue right now with the extension. It's not out yet updated. Some of the front ends are pushing fast. Fish, your front end is nearly done. Pigeon doesn't have a billion tau, unfortunately.
Hopefully. We're working on it.
Alex, you can fit at your screen by just doing command minus to like zoom out if you're using a Mac. What's everyone up to? Everyone's silent.
Jake, Ben has just posted something in here. You can see in the chat, RPC error 4003 client error, API call for an unknown block state already discarded. Can anyone on your team help with that?
Yep. I'll send it over. It's probably because where are you accessing? You're accessing probably not an archive node. Who knows? That discarded means that the state is not being held by the light node.
It's in both your node and our nodes. Just me either. I'm just reading out Ben's things. There's a corrupted state on a prune. There's a corrupted state on a prune neuron 2. Dubs, can you share that, please? If you finished in the bathroom.
Yeah, we saw this on the upgrade. I don't think it's an issue, but
I just pulled 100,000 rows of data on what's happening on social media right now, guys.
And
I haven't fucking downloaded it yet. I've just started the scraping run on 13.
Stop trying to pump your token, brother.
I'll shut up.
I thought we had to do that in our private channels, Const. Like, what the fuck?
Pump later. Sam, how much for the alpha now?
Pumpers, it would really help if someone could just have a quick look. There's a bad key state and key and state and querying on it causes an error. Dubs has posted an issue. Jake, if there's anyone from your team that can maybe even join into a different chat with my team to help on this one.
Hold on. Are you in the chat with Voon? We can get him. Oh, Const, you want to?
I'm making the chat here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Put Ben and Dubs in it, and yeah, Ben is right. The noise in here is making things hard. Yep, Dread. We will add some modifications to that. Although the validator obfuscation is somewhat on purpose, we did spend a lot of time making that. We want your alpha. But you can change it. Same place as Uniswap.
Exciting. Things look right. Some corrupted state errors going on behind the scenes here, but it seems like fine. Chain is running. TA on alpha. This is so cool. I really think the prices are way overinflated, guys. That's my financial advice. Straight to jail. Oh my God. Well, hey, you know what? If you're sitting here and you're not participating in this DGen show, it's all in your favor. because it just means that dividends, get this, okay? So dividends are a multiple of the sum of the subnet prices. So the sum of the subnet prices was at its peak, I think 40, and is currently 6, which means that the dividend yield for root participants is 6 times higher. APR is 6 times higher. I think that's like 100. That's 100x. Sorry, 100% per year. Just FYI, which is unsustainable. Oh man, that's quite funny. Anyways, it's good for people on route.
Has anyone told their wives Happy Valentine's Day? Or are we just aping alpha tokens today?
Isn't that tomorrow?
Oh, it's today for me.
Looking good, guys.
I just dropped into the chat the emissions of the subnets for the last I think couple of hours. There's about 12 points in there. I didn't sample every single block, but you can see basically the changes in all of the emissions over the last couple of hours. This has been a wild couple hours, guys.
Wow. Not a couple hours. I think it's just been. Oh wow, it's been a couple hours. Oh my god. Oh my, look at that. Initial chaos, but some stability. It's going to change for time. A lot. This is 2 hours, right?
This is crazy.
What are wives? Super exciting. So with the iOS wallet, guys, you are slightly locked in for a little bit of a time because it takes a while for the iOS wallet to update, and that's just simply it's a cost we have to take in order to push changes. So just bear with us while it takes up to a week for that to upgrade the iOS wallet. Welcome distributed. Fish, your front end's up.
Not yet, but if you keep reminding me every 1 or 2 minutes, I'll make sure not to forget about it.
Hey, Fish, is it ready now?
All right. Let's go back and look. Oh, wow. Look at this amazing graphs. Stefan, keep them coming. Top subnets are for Targon, Shoots, Celium, Mind, Bet, Coldent, Inference, PTN, Dataverse, Apex, Graphite, Infinite, Next Place, It's AI, Massa, Ready, Sturdy, Dippy, Agent Arena, Pre-Trained, Templar, Oracle, Alchemy, Cortex, Gaia, then Gen 42, Compute, Condense, Automata, Frontier, Sports Tensor, and Horde in that order. That is the order of price, but it is not the order of emission, which I wish I could sort by. But we have 64 Shoots as the top emission, Targon slightly before that in 4. Mind is at 7. Bet is at 7.4. Hendrik says, can you explain how the ones with iOS can exchange while the update is not here? Very severe apologies, Hendrix, for that taking so long. Unfortunately, it's just a matter of the iOS teams requiring a lot of time to review the update. So if you want to interact with this, you'll need to get your mnemonic, which you should have saved when you created the wallet, and simply recreate it with the BTCLI, or with other front ends like the extension, which will be live in a couple hours, no doubt, and also on websites like Tau Stats, Tau Market Cap. Here you can regenerate your wallets and interact with the network. Things seem to be playing out swimmingly. All right. Yeah, thank you, Paul, for that. The corrupted state is something we're seeing in light nodes, not validators. It's totally fine. Mahal says latest events are fixed on ScanTensor. Hell yeah. Is anybody getting mining rewards? I'd love to see that. SN2 miner rewards are out there. How exciting. This is a game that's going to take a little bit longer to really play out, is how miners interact with this design.
Oh God, miners haven't started dumping yet, huh?
Yeah, we don't know how that's going to play out. Obviously, they haven't actually accumulated much in the way of tokens, but they'll play a really important role here because in the day they're going to make 3,600, and you can imagine that these subnets that are pushing their prices above 1, they're going to have an issue here, right? Because that 3,600 alpha that is emitted can be sold for 3,600 tau in a day, right? So I suspect that miners will really play an important role in also stabilizing prices that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I agree. It's also interesting how the top subnets right now are the compute heavy ones, or they have high mining costs associated with them. So yeah, really going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Nice to see, Shrifty. So minor rewards are in play. How will they play it? It's very hard to read sturdy metagraph because it's kilokappa. Units are in kappa, but also in Ks, so it's kilokappa. Worthwhile taking a look at this. Let me share my screen here so we can take a look at this image from Sturdy. So this is subnet 10, right? So we have minor incentives coming in here. Down here, obviously they have less. This is sorted by stake, so they have less stake. This is the amount of kappa they have made in the epoch, right? So this total amount should sum up to 360 minus root dividends that were sold. So not quite 360, probably about 200, 250. Alpha column, this is the amount of kappa that these validators have. So OpenTensor Foundation has 145 kappa. We have 236,000 tau on root, which comes from, I think we have something about 700,000 tau times root weight. So 0.18, 126. So this is going to be our 126 plus people that are child keying to us on this subnet. So that's where we're getting the additional about 100,000 tau weight, which comes from child keying, which you can't quite see in this graph here. The total is the sum of these two numbers. So that's why this is almost exactly the same as this number, because there's hardly any alpha. We're very early into this design. So there's 145 kappa that we have. So 99% of the dividend yield from OpenTensor on this subnet comes from the tau. All of that dividend is paid out and sold back to root. That's how we're getting these numbers. And that's why we're seeing the sell pressure. Now, as this column increases in supply, as alpha increases, so that now there's 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 alpha outstanding, this column will become much more stacked. And then the difference between these columns will get smaller and smaller over time, and therefore the dividend proportion that gets paid out to alpha holders will increase. That also decreases the tau sell pressure because those dividends don't need to be sold. Right now, we're at like the highest point of root pressure sell. So people are making like an exorbitant amount of tau dividend by the fact that prices are like 6 and above, which is insane. But there's reasons why people are running this strategy. Anyway, that's an interesting point. People keep on asking what the block was, the exact block. I don't know. I'll have to ask Moon. Oh, there you go. Carrot knows. 4,900,000 and 20,351. Hendrik says, my taus were staked on Corcel. Now they are automatic on root. Exactly. Your tau is Seifu. Don't worry about it. In fact, right now you're making exceedingly high APRs, and I would probably suggest you just keep on doing that because it's a really good short-term strategy. Okay. So we're seeing some corrupt nodes out there, but it's not devastating. The chain is totally fine. The validators are fine. It's just on some light nodes that we're seeing some corrupted state logs, but it's fine. As far as you can tell, it's fine. Team is working behind the scenes.
Yeah, on our side, things are coming back, and we're seeing issues with things that we couldn't really diagnose on testnet because validators and miners and family relationships and all of that weren't as they are on mainnet. We'll probably have most of it done by tomorrow mid-morning, because some of our front-end devs have dropped off and gone to bed, and I'm going to do the same in not too long. So working on it. Bear with us. 24 hours, everything will be perfect. Monday, it'll be like it never happened.
I'm now an algo trader. That's what I do now. I do algorithmic trading. I do market making. Don't at me about subnet weights. It's not me. I'm just pure technical analysis now.
Const is my quant.
Vibes trader. That's right. I just want to be allocated into these subnets long term. This is really exciting for me. Like I've only done this once before with BitTensor itself. Now I get to do it with all these subnets. I'm so excited. We're all early adopters, guys. We all can say we were there on block 1 with all these subnets. Now, by the way, we have set the registration cost for the next subnet at 16,000 tau, which is ridiculous. Obviously, don't spend 16,000 tau. It will drop precipitously over the next few days. And at a certain point, somebody will register the next lot. So we'll get to see who's out there. Has anybody checked their dividend rate on root? How are people doing out there? Kind of pretty good. Thanks, Mitch. They are paid out automatically, by the way. So the root dividends are paid out almost every block, because there's 64 subnets. 360 blocks before we run one of them on average. It's like every 6 blocks is every couple of minutes or less than a minute. You get paid out your dividends en route, which is pretty cool. It's making me jealous of being en route. Robert says, how can I see root dividend? That's probably something that Mog and Fish, you guys will have implemented pretty soon. I'm not sure if you guys have it already, but that's a good question. Hey, Bullish, welcome to the stage.
Excusez-moi de vous déranger. Est-ce qu'il y en a qui parlent français? Non? No French?
Ouais, je parle français. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Maybe we can get Menta Minds up here.
Du coup, je peux me permettre de poser des questions si ça vous dérange pas?
Ouais, tu peux, pas de souci.
Ok, donc du coup, je voulais savoir parce que moi j'ai stacké mes Tao et du coup avec la nouvelle mise à jour, je suis pas obligé de miser sur les dtao. Vous êtes d'accord avec moi?
Non, au début, tu fais rien en fait. Le validateur que tu as stacké avec, ça a bougé pour le route et ça reste sur route. Et pour maintenant, si tu comprenais pas ce qu'il faut faire, fais rien. Parce que de rester sur route pour maintenant, c'est mieux. Ça prend 24 à 48 heures pour même les explorateurs de stabiliser. Et après, bon, ça va prendre même 1, 2, 3 semaines, 4 semaines pour les prix pour quand même stabiliser. Et après, tu peux commencer avec l'éducation qui peut être sur les réseaux sociaux, à faire ton choix de subnet, etc. Mais pour maintenant, tu restes où tu es.
D'accord, parce que moi.
Exactement ce que m'avait dit.
Comment? Je les ai sur OpenTeleSource et du coup,
il m'a dit tu peux les laisser sur la fondation.
Ok, bon, bah super. Super, bon, ben, merci beaucoup de m'avoir renseigné. Je redescends, merci beaucoup en tout cas, Constant, tout le monde, merci beaucoup, everyone, tout le monde, merci beaucoup, thank you.
Classic French intervention.
Ouais, classique.
Any other languages? We can...
Congrats on the launch, everyone.
Thank you.
Good to see.
Thank you. Would you want to speak about Mentap Minds?
Sure. I think as Mog said, with the most aggressive strategies, we're how funds allocate. But basically, we're going to be a strategy. We have developed strategy to Tao holders allocate their Tao as more of a long-term strategy and have the alpha, more aggressive full alpha allocation, but it's going to come out later when the price is settling down.
And how does this strategy work? Like how do people interact with this product?
So we have a very simple front end. Boils down to basically sign in that adds our staking proxy as address to your account. So it gives Mentat Minds the right to delegate your funds. And then we have a lot of checks in place to make sure, first of all, we don't allocate just all the time. We wait for a certain amount to be able to be allocated, to not waste your transaction fees. Then we allocate this amount according to the EMAs of the different subnets at the specific time. So in terms of UI, it's very simple. It's for very, let's say, like any Tao holder, people that don't necessarily know what to do or to look for into subnets, like what data to look into, they can easily use that.
Amazing. And I recommend this strategy for people, which is like, don't invest your principal if you're playing a risk averse strategy, but instead just invest the dividends you make off root with someone like Mentap Minds or somebody that's providing this kind of service, or it really is it is actually simple to build wrap yourself, but you guys have a nice product for people to use, basically.
Yeah, and I think on that we also the analytics side, so the metrics for everyone. So we'll have a page that when you enter you can see the position, so the sum of the tau value of all your subnet tokens, and also the split, like in a very simple, very simple split in the tau value between all the. So again, it's not all the hard work that Mog doing, but just a very simple page with like 2 or 3.
Awesome. Fish, your front end is up.
Like 20% up. We're working on getting over some of the errors that were unexpected. Hopefully within the next, I don't know, maybe it might be still a couple more hours till it's 100% up. Just to make sure everything's correct.
Understood. How are we doing in terms of the emission? I'm really curious to see. It looks like the chain nodes are getting hit. Shoots is 64 on top with a price of 0.82, Targon 0.65, Mine both below that, PTN, then Celium, Coldent, Apex, Inference, Bet, Massa, Dataverse, next place, Sturdy. Highest emission subnet is Shoots at 0.0955, then Targon at 0.0899, Mind at 0.0790. Actually, Celium is in third place of 0.0837 for emission. Then we have, after that, we have Bet. Those are the emission values.
Yeah, there are countless wallets who are literally making transactions almost every block or every few blocks. Quite impressive.
Can we sort in BT-CLI on emissions? I don't think we can. There is a BT-CLI. Let me see if I can get this working. I believe there's a BT-CLI HTML version. Let me see if I can get it up. There's a stake.
Tyler, there's many people that speak French better than me. Most of the country of France. But that guy also, he spoke really fast and quite mumbled.
Let me see if that's out. I want to ask Abe. Okay, HTML is not published yet, but that's exciting. So we're actually launching a front end from the BTCLI, which people will be able to use to stake and unstake and see their portfolio, which is super cool. The next evolution of the CLI coming out. Oh my. Let's take a look at some subnets on tau stats. So where do I go? Tau stats, here's Targon. Well, look at this drop. This is the 1 minute chart. This is possibly miners on staking being like, no, I'll take my tau. That's exciting. This is Targon, so we can go to any subnet here. Let's go take a look at Shoots, for instance. What do we got here, Mog? You want to take me through? Why don't you do the presentation of what you have? This is super beautiful.
All right, it's not all working as I wanted to yet, and I'm just dealing with my team on some of the data being completely up live. Our indexes are just catching up. I think Ben's found most of the issues. So we've tried to order the subnet pages like this in the way you would expect in a kind of coin market cap way. You've got your market cap volume. We're just dealing with some issues to get the prices updating on the left as fast as they are on the right. But yeah, as I say, our indexes are just catching up. So yeah, giving you what you would expect to see on a DEX, kind of like a DEX screener kind of page. One of the things, the trading data there isn't pulling through at the moment, and nor is the subnet data quite yet. One of the things that we tried to focus on is the balance of tau and alpha in pools, and then also, although it's not as I want it on the validator page, what we'll also be focusing on is tau weight and the weight of root versus alpha on validators. And it was something I was looking at. Although the main validators page isn't working, if you go to validators and you control click on OTF and tau stats to open them new tabs, or OTF, you can see that you have got, although we want to see the root on there, what you'll see is, just scroll up to the top for them now. That's not working as it should be right now, but you can see your weighted, what we've got there is OTF's weighted tau. So it's not your full stake, it's your 0.18, although we should also see your root. And then you can see the important one I'm looking at there in the bottom right of that box is 444 tau that you have in alpha stake. Yeah, that's about the only piece of data on that page right now, other than total nominators and dominance, is actually correct in the way I wanted. But yeah, be there shortly. And if you look on tau stats, I think we're at 474, and I think this is one of the little understood metrics that's going to be very, very important in defining validator weight moving forward, which is how much tau is actually present in alpha, or how much alpha you have on your validator. I'm just thinking of who else has been quite present in alpha, so we can pick any other validator and do the same thing.
Let's see roundtable, for instance. 55. And we should be able to see, these are nominations, right? These are actions.
No, this replaces, this is will be the performance table of your validator, and what the nominations is down at the bottom. You go to delegation and you'll see your nominations.
There you go. Okay, so slight increase there.
Yeah, that chart is still using the old root only, but now you're going to have combined root and alpha, and we'll plot those separately. You can see that they've got more nominators there than they did on their other table. I'm going to do a presentation on that. I want to get all the data right, so give us about 24 hours, maybe even Monday, Tuesday next week, and then we'll show that. The only other one I really wanted to show, which is quite useful when it's working, and I'm going to grab actually to share my screen for this one, which is going to be here, if you don't mind, is this. I don't know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, this is, whilst you can buy and sell alpha on the subnet pages, this is intended for the less trade orientated and those that just essentially want to perform the task that subnet owners were doing, or sorry, validators were doing, which is basically setting weights. What you have here is your root delegation, which and you can choose how much of the tau available in your wallet you want to actually put into delegation. On this particular wallet, there's 100% of it in there. I'll just reset it to what it was before I did that. So I've got 96% on root, I've got 3.4% on 19 and 0.45% on 47. And what I can do here is I can go through and I can pick any subnet. Let's grab some Targon. Well, it seems to, I think it's slightly overpriced, so let's not go for subnet at the moment. Let's grab some shoots. Shoots down here, and of course you can select any validator you wish, so we'll grab our shoots on Datura. You add both of those and you can then start to play with your allocation. So the way that I see this working is that eventually I would set the weights that I was prepared to set on root for the subnets that I want, in the proportion I want. And what will happen then is, as I accumulate alpha, I'll start to see those proportions change. If I want to make sure that I always keep a set proportion, let's say 20% on 19, and I can lock that, and then the other ones will, when I come in here, I can rebalance. So it's a way of kind of balancing portfolio allocation rather than just saying buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. And it was somewhat adapted to the potential of earning dust across all subnets, because you would be able to balance your dust into your allocation. So at a future point, if you're allowed to get dust or airdrops, as you wish to call it, as a future feature, you would be able to immediately just balance that down at regular intervals to your own subnet allocation. You will also be able to then share this allocation with other people on Twitter and export it and import other people's allocations, so you can copy their percentage allocations to subnets.
Beautiful. That's so cool, Mug. You're filling a much needed hole here for people that don't want to do MEV scripts and technical analysis. So this allows them. Does this run automatically, like in the back?
No, we
No,
would. We at this stage, no. I think we should definitely be working and promoting some of the strategies of Menstat for that. I think that's highly likely that we include those in here, so that you can automatically execute them with Menstat. Tau stats don't want to be responsible for creating actions that can cause you financial loss on your behalf. We prefer to have you press the button, basically.
Yeah, it would be great to work together. I think the two tools would be perfect together.
This is going to be built out a lot over the coming weeks, based on feedback. And obviously, you can see at the moment, it's even with very small amounts of less than a tau, there's enormous amounts of slippage here. Of course, you can set your max slippage, etc., and you can change your validators, etc. There you go. That's it for now. Let's get everything working. I was going to do a little presentation in Taustat Discord, but I'm not, because I just want to concentrate on getting everything working, and I have to be on a racetrack at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So
beautiful. Okay, well, it's been almost 3 hours here. Let's get to it. This show does not stop. It's gonna go on and on and on. So I'm looking forward to talking with everybody next week, and we can do a breakdown of where we are all across. Thank you everyone for coming. This was fantastic. One of the most exciting calls of BitTensor ever. Oh my gosh. Thank you everyone. I'm so excited. Take care. Everyone, have a good night.
Open Tensor.
Open Tensor.
Yo, open Tensor on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Open Tensor!
Open Tensor!